Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacqueline Lopez. I have my thrift flips video today. Very excited to finally be bringing this to you. I did promise this video a long time ago. Well, actually when I did my last video, which was a while ago. So I'm very excited again to be sharing this with you today. Also, as you can see, this intro is a little bit different. I do have an upcoming video that will give you a little bit of an explanation of what's going on and some changes that I am doing. Also very excited to share that with you. Now, as always, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time that I post a new video. Like, comment, and share on this video. That helps me know what videos you like, and it also helps my channel to grow. So thank you very much in advance for that. Now let's just go ahead and get into these thrift flips, and I have many more coming. So stay tuned for all of the new things that I have coming for you. For our first flip, I am going to be redoing this little display tray. The only supply we're going to need is this quick change sander. I highly recommend it. It's from the Gator brand. It comes with 120 sandpaper. I did buy some 80 grit because that's what I was originally going to use. And again, highly recommend this. It is very easy to use. I do switch back to a 120 because the only instruction on this DIY is to sand off this top coating. I was originally going to stain it, but I still want it to be food safe, and stain is not food safe. You can buy butcher block stain, which would make this piece food safe, but since all I did was sand off some of the top, I made sure to clean it really well so that I didn't have any little residue on it. But I opted out of all of those other options because just sanding it gave it the perfect color that matches with my kitchen. It has a very nice weathered look, and again, that's exactly what I was going for. For our second flip, I am going to be redoing this metal tin. We are going to be needing some paint, some protective coating. I'm going to use these little caps as feet, and I'm also going to be using some stamps on here. We're going to start by painting our tin. I'm using this Waverly ivory chalk paint. Now I'm going to take the 4 largest caps and paint those in the ink Waverly chalk paint. I'm going to be using the stamps, and for that I forgot to show earlier that I'm going to use the jet black permanent ink from Ranger. This is a marmalade crock, and that's basically the idea that I'm trying to do on here. So I'm going to be giving it 2 coats, and I'm only painting the sides. I'm leaving the inside and the bottom as is, and then I only had to do 1 coat on the little caps. Now I'm going to be taking my Fix-All adhesive from the original super glue. I love this stuff. Quite honestly, I prefer it over E6000. It's so much easier to work with. Basically, all I'm doing is I lined up the little feet where I wanted them, keeping in mind what was going to be the back. I am applying some and letting it dry. Now that everything is fully dry and I made sure that the legs were on there permanently, I'm going to be taking my ink and my stamps. I'm going to play around to see kind of which stamp I want. But from the beginning, I feel like I want the potted meats one. I feel like that's just going to match with what I'm trying to do with this. I tried the other ones and I still went back to the one that I had originally set my eyes on. So let's go ahead and use that. I highly recommend that you go to the IOD channel. They teach you everything on these stamps, how to properly use them. So I'm just going to direct you over there. Now I'm going to be using this thin mount to stamp my stamp so that it gives me some stability but still some flexibility, because I am stamping on a curved object. I'm going to make sure to take enough ink so that everything is covered well, because it has a lot of little details to it, and I just like to eyeball everything, so I'm trying to hold it as still as I can, and I'm just going to stamp it right in the middle. Once you do this, you need to commit because it's permanent ink. You can of course paint over it, but I want to get this done as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Just make sure that you press all of the edges. If you miss a little, it'll still look fine. I promise it's supposed to look vintage. It doesn't have to be perfect. I love the way it looks. I was debating if I needed to add more stamps to the side or maybe to the back. And I thought I had stamped this wrong. I went back and looked at it, and I love it. It looks just perfect. To seal in our work and give it the glossy look that a crock has, I did go ahead and give it 3 coats of the polyurethane gloss. As you can see, I had accidentally bought the wrong one in white. Thankfully, I caught it before I sprayed it, because this is the final product and I absolutely love it. I think it is a perfect addition to my kitchen. It really gives me the vintage French country look that I'm going for. For our final flip, we are going to be using these glass bottles. I chose some that had a large enough flat front. I'm going to be taking these plastic house numbers and attaching them with some of my Fix-All adhesive, and I'm going to give them a metal look with some rub and buff. Now again, these are plastic. I looked and looked for some metal ones at the thrift store, could not find them, so this is the best solution that I can find, and I ended up choosing the silver leaf color of the rub and buff. And I do highly recommend that you use a glove when using these paints, is what I'm going to call them, because they are very pigmented, will most definitely stain your fingers. So again, protect yourself by using some gloves. As you can see, I take very small amounts and apply this as slowly as possible, and it is basically, as the name implies, you're just going to rub it on and buff it out. I'm buffing it out so that I can remove any excess, because I still want it to have a worn look. And I'm also trying to peel back some of it so that I can have some of the black peek through. I'm going to go ahead and do the same to the 5, and I'm trying to work as fast as possible because these dry really quickly. Highly recommend rub and buff, I'm sorry, for anything that you want to make look metal. It works great on a lot of different surfaces. Now that both my numbers are done and dry, I went ahead and cleaned up my bottles. I'm going to leave them as is, but I do have a video here on my channel on how to paint them and make them look like amber glass or just vintage glass. I decided to leave these just clear as is, so I went straight on to adding my Fix-All adhesive to the numbers, making sure that I didn't get any of the holes where the nails would go, because I don't want any of it peeking up through the glass bottle. So just making sure to not get those, I apply a small layer of it and just press it on. Again, I love this stuff. It starts to dry quickly, but it's still kind of movable if you need to reposition it. I'm cleaning up the edges with some warm water. And let me give you some tips so that you don't have your Fix-All adhesive dry up to where you can't open it anymore. Every time you use it, clean up this part and then close it up right away so that none of it is peeking out and it dries, and then store it in your fridge. Trust me when I say that. But here are my bottles all done. I absolutely love them. I got this idea from Layla at the lettered Cottage. She found some at an antique store and I fell in love with them and have been wanting to recreate this DIY. Now, I hope that you enjoyed these quick thrift flips. Again, I have many more to come. I already started filming some, so very excited to be sharing those soon. As always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time I have a new video. And again, thank you for taking time to watch this video. You have a very good rest of your day. Bye-bye.